Good morning. Helps when I turn my mic on, huh? Good morning. Another Friday. How's everyone doing? Oh my goodness. Mid-October already. I'm heading out of town tomorrow, which will be nice. And so I'm looking forward to that. But it's like that wrap up before you go anywhere, like all the stuff, make sure everything's packed, make sure the kids have everything they need, all of that is going on. Good morning, everyone. Just giving you guys a minute to pop on in. If you don't mind, send me hello, a thumbs up, a heart, something. Let me know that my sound is good. You can hear me, you can see me. And I'll give you guys a second. And then I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about the mitochondria this morning because I have had a lot of people ask me about that. I don't know if that's of interest to you guys. If you want to hear about it, give me some feedback on that. And then I'll jump into live Q&A as usual and answer your questions. I've just been getting a lot of questions about that lately. So I thought maybe it was a good topic to jump into to start off the live. If you are cool with that, at least on Instagram, give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. Hello, sounds good. You look great. Oh, thanks. Thank you. My husband had surgery this week. And so I've kind of been nurse, mom, wife, kind of like running around. So thank you, because I kind of feel like I don't look good. So thank you. One of those things where you just beat yourself up because you're doing so many things, I guess. Is anyone on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn? Can you guys give me some sort of comment? Make sure that my tech is working well, please. That would be so helpful. I see all of you on Instagram. Thank you. Sounds like a wonderful topic. Got the thumbs up from a friend. Perfect. So let's dive into that. So do you guys know what the mitochondria is? Have you guys heard that term? Give me some feedback. What do you know about the mitochondria? Tell me what you think I'm going to talk about, and then I'll help kind of dispel those myths and clarify. How about that? Let's do a little bit of interactive chat this morning. What do you say? Hello. Thank you. Is it Shayna or Shauna? Thank you so much for saying hello. I appreciate it. So what do you guys know about the mitochondria? Is there any particular questions about it that you want to know? Cellular powerhouse. Very good. Yeah, so the mitochondria is actually within our cells. It's an organelle. And the mitochondria is responsible for the production of energy. I mean, granted, there's a lot of pathways through our biochemistry that goes down, and it eventually ends at the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is what helps produce ATP. Remember that term from high school biology, ATP, which is our energy source. So if you look at this like a company, right? If you're producing a product and you've got all these little things that have to happen to build the product, right? And then you sell the product for money, that's your energy, right? And that money now pays the workers. So everyone still shows up to build the product. Everyone does their job. Everyone trains appropriately. Everyone has all the resources they need to build more product, right? So what happens when our mitochondria is impacted is we're not producing enough money, right? We're not producing enough energy to fuel the further mitochondria or cellular processes that have to happen. So when we look at, particularly in the last few years, since from the pandemic, we were finding a lot of news stories, right? A lot of us naturopaths during it were saying, whoa, our mitochondria is being impacted. And everyone's like, what's a mitochondria? And the thing is it was getting damaged, and toxins can damage the mitochondria. Deficiency of nutrients have a massive impact on the mitochondria because those nutrients are the little things that put that product together, right? So if you're making a product and one person just doesn't show up, right? You get a backlog of product. You don't make enough energy, right? And you can't produce more product. Does that make sense? So when we start to have impacts in that line, that assembly line, it starts to produce significant health impacts. Now, this could be anything from chronic inflammation, allergy response, constantly getting sick, poor energy, mood changes, right? Development of metabolic disease like diabetes, right? Because you can't break food down efficiently into energy. We see a lot of cancer development from damage to the mitochondria, right? Our immune health is significantly impacted. So this does go back to the cellular level. And I see a couple questions on that. You're saying, Does every cell have a mitochondria? Absolutely. Absolutely. So every single cell in our body, its job is to produce energy through the mitochondria in order to do other things. Because if we don't have energy, we can't detoxify. We can't manage hormones. We can't break down our food to produce more energy, right? We have all these things that happen every day in this amazing assembly line that if we don't have the energy to do these processes, the assembly line gets backed up. And when it gets backed up, we have problems. Does this make sense, guys? Are you tracking with me? Give me some feedback here, right? You're asking ATP, adeno. Yeah, I don't even say the long one, right? Biliary malfunction can totally zap energy. Yeah, anytime. So if our whole goal, right, is to eat food, break it down, produce energy, and then that energy goes to do all those cellular processes, maintain our immune system, maintain our cellular health, provide energy so that we can get up out of our chair, you know, muscle health, muscle contractions, heart contraction, pumping blood, moving lymph, like all these things that we don't think about in our body that just happen from the production of energy through the mitochondria. So if we don't have that energy coming out of the mitochondria, if anything is impacted in that long assembly line, we have disease development. So as a whole, right, in the conventional medicine side, we walk in to our doctor, we say, oh, we're having GI issues, or I'm having immune issues, or I'm having chronic inflammation. And they just look at that and they start throwing anti-inflammatories at you and it's not working and whatever. I would say, well, wait a minute. What's going on in the mitochondria? Do we have a nutrition deficiency where the mitochondria isn't able to produce the energy in order to maintain proper inflammation levels and response, right? When in the early stages of the pandemic, when they were starting to do research on this and starting to say, okay, we may be seeing real damage to the mitochondria, the first question is, was it actually the situation damaging the mitochondria? I have to use special words here, right? Or were our mitochondria already damaged from external toxins, poor food, stress? By the way, stress is a great way to damage your mitochondria. If you want to have damaged mitochondria with poor energy production, loading more things on your plate is a fantastic way to do that. So don't do that. But the bottom line was we started to discover a lot of mitochondrial problems, right? We've also seen a massive uptick in cancers. We've seen a massive uptick in anxiety, depression, inflammatory disorders, right? So all of this is tied in. So when they first started to notice this, they were like, oh, well, we'll just sell this product. I think it was PCQ, which granted has its own benefits in the body, but I think what we were missing, I tried it on a few people and I was like, okay, I'm not seeing what I want. But what I really started to realize is you can't just throw a single supplement at the mitochondria because you don't know where the problem is in the assembly line, right? So it could be that everything else is fine, but maybe the B6 you need to drive a reaction is not there. And that's why it's backing up. And therefore, these specialty products may not help, right? So what I started to do is I started to look at how can we feed the mitochondria in general, right? How can we really feed it and then give the subsequent nutrients with it? And so I started to play with a couple different products for this. I do have some information coming out on this in the next couple months. If you want to look at it now, let me know. I can tell you which product it is on my store that I started really playing with for mitochondrial health, and I really love it. I take it every day. I notice a huge difference in energy. Not that I wasn't already fantastically energetic, but just feeling a little bit more, not just energetic, but more so my ability to handle the things that are coming at me. There has been a lot, guys, a lot that has been thrown at me in the last 2 months, a lot. And I am still standing energetically. And I have to say, it has a huge combination with mindset. You know, I do believe that great things come out of bad things every single time. So I'm waiting for those great things to come out of the bad things and I'm just rolling with it. but also I feel like my body is handling that stress response better due to really supporting the mitochondria. So if you guys want to hear more about that supplement, let me know. I'm not going to bore you with it here if you don't want to know, right? If you just want the info, that's cool. So mitochondria closely related to telomeres. I mean, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of really cool research on telomeres and the length of telomeres with your longevity, right? So if you don't have proper energy production, or if you have toxins impacting the body and the body doesn't have the energy to break those down or to do its normal processes, it will damage the telomeres, right? So it will damage your longevity, right? So those are supporting mitochondrial health is one way to keep telomeres long and healthy. Does mitochondrial support help constipation? These aren't a direct link, right? Mitochondrial support produces energy to help with detoxification. So mitochondria does everything. Like without a mitochondria, you're not alive. So it produces energy to do everything in the body. So that has to happen, right? So yeah, of course it's linked to everything, but not like, oh, if you support the mitochondria, constipation will get better. I don't know, because there could be a ton of other factors involved in the constipation. Does that make sense? Okay, got a question here. Wow, I think you are already answering my question. Well, there we go. I get anxious when neighbors' lawns are treated with herbicides and insecticides about 6 times spring and summer. Aside from eating healthy and exercise, are there other supplements kids and I can take to counteract this exposure, boost immunity, or detox? Yeah, so one of the things I did just put, by the way, on my online store, do you guys remember like maybe 5-6 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, I said I was doing like a 4-month foundational detoxification. Do you guys remember that? And all of you were like, what is that? What are you doing? What are you doing? Tell me. And I was like, just hang on. I got to get it up on my store. It is finally on my store. I can certainly have my team maybe pop a link on these feeds, or we can put it on my link in bio maybe. But if you go to the store, it's called the Foundation. If you type in foundational, you'll see a kit. They're by Cellcore. But that is what I would recommend, because looking at doing and granted, I'm not your physician, so you'll have to talk to your doctor about whether or not you can do this 4-month detox or not. But it does include the product that I'm talking about for mitochondrial health, which is BC-ATP. But really just supporting the mitochondria and opening the drainage pathways is one of the most important things. So the step 1 of that kit, the first box, you can buy them individually or you can buy it as a 4-box kit. The step 1 is what opens up those drainage pathways. If you're not open, if you're not pooping, if you're not draining, if you're not eliminating, you cannot detox, guys. If you try to push that and you can't get it out, that's a problem, right? So I think when you're being, exposed to all these insecticides and herbicides and such, it is important to be able to drain that out of the body. The body does have the ability to help detoxify the body. That's what it does. But so really supporting the mitochondria and opening up those drainage pathways are really important. Now, if you're someone who has chronic constipation, please don't do this kit without medical supervision. Okay? Just don't. It's going to be miserable. So the first month is opening up drainage pathways. So take a look at that. You can always email my team about this too. If you're like, oh, what is she talking about? I want to learn more. If you send a message through the website, you can DM. We're not as fast with DMs, guys, because I get a ton of them. I'm going to be honest. I get DMs all day long. So the DMs fly past us almost faster than if you just call my office or send an email. But we can certainly guide you more on that if you want, to tell you which product it is. But you do have to make sure your doctor's okay with it too. Deal? I saw a couple other questions. Let me catch up on those. What can mess up the mitochondria? Name it. I'm going to do it in a very simplistic form. I'm going to answer the question. External and internal stress. So external causes internal stress. Internal stress could be anything from nutrient deficiencies, toxins, poor metabolism, metabolic disease, inflammation, immune system dysregulation. All these things have impacts on mitochondria, and the mitochondria all has impacts on those things. This is the circular thing, right? If you have damage to some of the mitochondria, it can't produce energy. If it can't produce energy, it can't do these things. So you develop more, right? There's a huge metabolic theory, just even of cancer and of many diseases, that diseases are developed out of a poor metabolic state. I agree with that. The mitochondria is pivotal for a proper metabolic state. Pivotal. Have to have it. If you don't have it, you cannot do what you need to do. So I would argue that any sort of damage to the body, so any sort of stress on the body, whether that be external or internal, is going to damage the mitochondria, and damage to the mitochondria is going to cause more stress. Does that make sense? If someone has hyperkinetic gallbladder, do they still get better with taking TEDCA and ox bile? I don't know, like lots of factors. Do I use TEDCA and ox bile with people with digestive issues? Yes. However, if somebody doesn't have a gallbladder and we're trying to stimulate bile release through the gallbladder, it may not do much if the gallbladder is not working well. I think I've seen it both ways. I've seen people with gallbladder issues take it and see dramatic improvement. I've seen some that get irritated by it. And I think if they're irritated by it, we have to look at the whole system, right? What's going on in the liver? What's going on in the pancreas? Do we have all the other enzymes? What's the diet? What's the inputs and outputs? Are they doing an anti-inflammatory diet? Are they doing lymphatic release? Are they moving every day and getting exercise? Those are things that are really important when it comes to digestive health that we need to pay attention to, that I think we just miss. We always ask, what can we take? But often it comes to just movement, right? Does that make that hyperkinetic? Yeah, I get it. But either way, I've seen it with any type of gallbladder issue, whether it's overactive, underactive, or missing. It's a whole system, right? So what does the ox bile do? What does the TEDCA do, right? They're replacing bile or managing bile, right? So how's your bile, right? If you have a ton of bile and you add ox bile, that's probably not going to do anything, right? So I think you have to look at the whole pathway. And then what's happening with all the other enzymes that are released from the pancreas that also play a role in digestion, and what other compounding factors are there in the gut? Is there an autoimmune disease? Is there chronic inflammation? Is there a diabetes? You know, like there's a whole health history there that would have to be evaluated for me to say whether it would work or not. Are those supplements that I have a discussion about in people with any sort of gallbladder issue? Absolutely. Absolutely. Was this helpful to people? Do you guys like the mitochondria talk? Do you want me to talk about it more? Is this a good topic for you guys? I'm happy to do more videos on it. I think a masterclass would be fun on the mitochondria. Would you guys like a masterclass on the mitochondria? I could actually show you a picture of one. Would that be fun? Or is that too geeky? Tell me what you want. What type of topics do you guys want on masterclasses? Because I'm actually planning one. You guys, I'm going to take a minute. So many of you filled out the survey that I posted. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll post it again. I can post it today again on my story. But I sent out a survey via email, and I also put it up to my story a few days ago. And if you took the survey, if you haven't already, you're going to be getting an email for a 5% discount on my store. So that will be very helpful if you're looking at some of these supplements we talked about today. But you have to take the survey. Give me 5 minutes, I'll give you 5% off. And the coupon code's good through the end of October. Okay, so I'll put that up again today. Team, remind me, put that up again today. Or you guys do it. But one of the things that almost every single one of you said is you would like to see masterclasses. You would love to see me teach more. Every single person said that. I think there might have been one or two of you that didn't say that. So I am going to do that. I am going to be doing a masterclass. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, maybe first week of November. But I haven't picked a topic yet. So I would love to know, what topics do you want to hear about? I know I've done quite a few of them over the past 6 months, but I have not done one on mitochondria. I just don't know if it's too geeky. Oh, we got people saying, I love geeky. Oh, I'm in. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Well, then maybe we'll talk about energy from a cellular perspective, from the mitochondrial perspective, because we talk a lot about energy just from life. Like, do you have the energy to get out of your chair, to work out, to get up in the morning? How do you sleep? Which is great. But we don't talk about it from a cellular level that often, right? We don't think about it that way. If I asked you, how much energy do you have? How many of you would think about your mitochondria? Anyone? Or would you all just think about how you felt right now? Right? So what if we start looking at this from a cellular level? Because here's the thing, guys, we are built out of cells. It's our cells. Epigenetics. Ooh, that's really a geeky one. I like it. Epigenetics, mitochondria. I've been writing these down. And you guys can go ahead and start asking questions, by the way. I'm just filling time. But if you do like certain masterclass topics, I want to know what they are. I'm going to try to do one once a month. Would that be fun? Would you guys like that? Mitochondrial is good. Gut-brain connection. Gut-brain, that's always a good one. And we can even make some of them less geeky. We can do some mindset ones. We can do some exercises, you know, how to calm the brain, parasympathetic activity. We can do all sorts of different things with masterclasses, right? So I want to know, I think I'll create a survey for you guys to tell me what topics you want, but you have to actually fill it out. So if I put it up, I don't know how many filled it out from my story the other day. Not that many. Most of you filled it out from the email, which I'm really grateful for, but like, you guys are all checking my story. I can see you. So hit take, just take it. I'll give you 5% off my store through the end of, for coupon to use towards the end of October. Okay. So do that for me. Alcohol usage and how it impacts the body. Definitely impacts the mitochondria because it's a toxin. You guys want to know, and by the way, I'm just waiting for questions. Quantum biology. Oh boy, that's going. Whew, I might lose a lot of people on that one, although it's pretty freaking cool, isn't it? I had the pleasure of going to a conference with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and we talked a lot about the quantum and how you can actually change your health with quantum physics and things like that. It was freaking phenomenal, to be honest. And it was very inspiring. I don't know if I'm skilled enough to run that masterclass, but maybe I'll pull it out. I'll see what I can do. I was going to say alcohol. Go ahead and pop questions, by the way. I will see it. I see a salt one coming to you, love. Alcohol, I always laugh when I see 1 glass of wine a day is good for your health. And by the way, that always comes through social media, right? It's like the health screenshot, right? Okay, someone tell me how alcohol is beneficial to your health. I'll wait here while somebody tells me what alcohol consumption does for your health that actually benefits you. Crickets, right? Now, many of you may come out and say, oh, it's the resveratrol. Yeah, that's the grape. That's not the alcohol, right? So what part of alcohol, the actual ethanol, has a benefit to our body? As soon as someone can tell me that, I'll jump on board with a glass of wine a day is healthy for you. Now, I can take resveratrol or eat grapes without the alcohol. Ooh, the social aspect. I love the contribution, Alex. There's a social aspect to alcohol that can be beneficial. However, do you really need alcohol to be social, or do you just need a glass with liquid in it? Like, does anyone really know if you're drinking alcohol, right? So often what I do is I go out, we say, oh, they'll have a glass of wine, and I have sparkling water in a wine glass, right? Or I'll have a sparkling water with a little bit of lime, and everyone thinks I'm having alcohol. I'm not, right? So the only person who knows whether you're having alcohol or not are you and anyone you tell. So I'm going to argue that the social aspect doesn't rely on the alcohol, but maybe the idea of getting together for a drink type thing, right? And that's an important benefit. And I think when people think, oh, I'm not drinking, therefore I can't go to social events, that's a problem, because you can. You just have to change the way you look at it, right? It's a mindset shift. Now, I'm not saying that I don't drink alcohol. I'm not sitting here saying I'm sober. I mean, I do drink alcohol occasionally, but I'm just saying, I'm arguing when people say it's healthy for you. I think we need to have a little reality check on that. Not really, right? I mean, not really. And I haven't seen any studies that tell me that the alcohol is healthy for you, right? So true, see? Yeah. Masterclass on aging gracefully. Ooh, I love that. In a world of Botox and fillers, I would love to talk about aging gracefully and appreciation of that, and biological age versus physiological age, right? That's kind of a cool topic. I'm intrigued about quantum, still trying to make sense of it. Harry Massey, Catherine Clinton, Jared Pollock. Yeah. Check out, do you follow Joe Dispenza? He's a great one to follow. He has some great meditations, great lectures, great retreats. Really quite fascinating. The idea that we can actually change our life by just changing here. I'd love to believe that's true. I feel like it's true because when I do change here, things happen in a favorable way. And when I'm stuck in my head and I'm stuck in that lower frequency of just doubt, self-doubt, anger, frustration, getting mad at everyone, blaming everyone, when I'm stuck in that, I don't excel forward at all. So I try to catch myself if I get stuck in that. We all get knocked down, right? And so we start to get in this lower frequency. We all fall into it. I fall into it as well. And I have to stop and say, wait a minute, I'm not helping myself by being in this frequency. I'm not helping myself by being a victim, by blaming other people, by getting angry at other people. They had nothing to do with me, right? It just doesn't have anything to do with me, right? And so those types of things are very, it's crazy because when you can bring your energy up in a higher frequency, you are healthier. And there are a ton of studies on that. Health and longevity increase when you are up here, yeah? And noticing how nature heals. Yeah. Okay, let me catch up here. Salt. What type of salt do I recommend? You know, it's funny. I really don't like salt. Like, I really don't. Is anyone a salt eater and you can recommend a good high quality salt? They're not all great. I know that. I just don't use it. I've never liked salt ever from the time I was little. And my rest of my family is totally the opposite. They'll like put salt on things or whatever. I'm like, oh, like if I taste something salty, I can't even do a lot of electrolyte drinks because they're way too salty for me. I do not like the taste of salt. Real salt. Is that the name of the brand, Alex? I mean, we want like actual salt, not like a bunch of crap. But there's tons of different brands. When I have purchased salt, I've gone to Whole Foods. Yeah, the brand Real Salt. Thank you. Pink Himalayan or Celtic salt. Yeah, see, there you go. Not the whatever, the one with the umbrella on the front. The one we all grew up with, right? That's killing people now. Dance therapy and music therapy on a cellular molecular level. Ooh, now I'm having so much fun. Dance on a cellular level, music. Wow, these are great topics. I would never have thought of that one. Thank you. You guys are great. I love to know what you love to hear about. I'm actually working on forming a little masterclass series for you guys. So you guys asked for it. I hope you're in on it. I would hate to schedule it and have no one show up. That would suck. So don't do that to me. You all asked for it. I'm going to do it. I pivoted and I'm doing it. So I hope to see you all there because I think I'll put on the survey. Hey, I think 2 of my team members are out there today. Can you guys put on the survey topics for masterclass and preferred times for people to attend? I would like to know in general when most of you are around. We could do them at this time, you know, but I don't know. Not a lot of people aren't around on a Friday morning. You're the best, Dr. Pingle. Thanks. Vibrate higher for sure. For sure. I've heard salt is great for hydration and I love LMNT, but I feel like it makes me puffy. Yeah, I don't agree that you have to take salt to be hydrated. There are a lot of other electrolytes involved with hydration. Magnesium deficiency is one of the main reasons we're dehydrated. So I look to some of the other, like just minerals in general before I look to salt, because salt can make you puffy if it pulls the water into the peripheral tissues, right? Salt and potassium have this is cellular again. Woo! Okay, so we have a cell and we have what's called a gradient. And there's salt on one side and potassium on the other side. Salt on the outside, potassium on the inside. And water follows the gradient, right? So you don't want to overdo one or the other. There's a reason they're balanced. So if you have a great balance of salt and potassium and you add more salt, it's not going to work well for you, right? If you have a great balance of potassium and you add more potassium, it's not going to work well for you, right? This is about keeping things in balance. So I usually recommend a generalized mineral. The LMNT I find to be way too salty. I cannot drink that. Coconut water is a great way to do it naturally if you don't want to supplement. Got any more questions? Hair loss, healthy hair masterclass. How many of you pay attention to what you put on your hair as far as toxins go? How many of you have actually read your shampoo label or your glossy thing or your serum that you put in your hair or your hairspray? Do you guys read that? Do you guys know what you put in your body? I'll come back to that. Let me read the other questions because then I'll talk about hair. How do master classes work exactly? What I'm looking to do is a series of master classes where basically I show up, I teach a subject. They're interactive. They're usually on Zoom. And we teach a subject. And then usually I'll allow a few questions at the end. And then looking at recording them and saving them in a platform. And looking at, creating a library of master classes for a very low fee that you can access at any time to learn more. That's kind of how they work. So this would just be educational master classes. That's it. Just me teaching. That's it. That's all it is, right? But there'll be chances for Q&A, things like that, so that if you have more specific questions on that, we can hopefully hone in on that. That's how it works. At a very low fee. This wouldn't be an expensive thing. Just enough to kind of keep me going on it. This time, okay. No, you don't look at the stuff on your hair. Yes, skindeep.com or app, you can check products. Yeah, so some of the things that, when growing up in the modeling industry was really interesting for me because it is laden with toxins and you're being sprayed with hairspray all the time and there's all this different makeup and whatever. And my skin was always just nasty. And I kept like, this is weird. But then I look at the products they were using on my skin and my hair, right? So many years ago, I switched to different products and I have a few different ones I rotate through and really started looking at the ingredients I was putting on my hair and my skin. And it was amazing how much healthier and stronger my hair is now than it was, not to mention also from inside, right? Putting in the good food and taking care of my health, right? And reducing my stress. So I think that would be a great hair loss, hair, nails. That kind of goes with the aging gracefully thing, right? You guys are great. What great suggestions today. I love it. I read labels, but I'm still bad about buying the products. I need to shop more organically. Yeah. My cousin runs an organic hair salon. And so even my hair color is cleaner than you can. I mean, it's like the cleanest you can get in a professional market. And I get a lot of gray hairs, so I haven't been able to really go without, although I may at some point. But I also put some cleaner products on my, it's not a huge abundance of them, on my new online store. Did you guys know I have a new online store that's like way better than the one before? Do you guys know? We're still designing the homepage. It's going to start being cooler and look even better. And if you want 5% off, you can fill out that survey. Hint, hint. If you want 5% off, you can also do subscriptions and you'll get 5% off every single time. But it has tons of products on there for the kiddos too. I think you had asked when you were talking about the pesticides and stuff, what you could take for the kids. Kids are similar, you want to make sure they have all the nutrients they need to support the mitochondria, as well as gut health. I always say probiotics for kiddos, always. What hair color brand do you recommend? I use Organic Way, O&M and Organic Way. O&M, and then I think the hair color is Organic Way. I think O&M is the some of the products. I also started using a shampoo and conditioner that I love right now called Arete, A-R-E-T-E. A-R-E-T-E. It smells, the hair polish is awesome too. But yeah, the color I believe is Organic Way. And it's a professional line, but my cousin has a salon. She doesn't use any other toxic color. So when you go in there, it doesn't smell, which is awesome. Those of you that are local to Arizona, if you want her, local to the Phoenix area, if you want her information, just shoot an email to us or send a message through the website, and I'd be happy to refer you to her salon. She's in Peoria, so west side of Phoenix. All right, guys, I'm getting tight on time. You guys have more questions? Was this a helpful live Q&A? A bit more interactive today. I'm kind of feeling you guys out, seeing what you need. So, all right, is anyone new here? First time? If so, say hi. Where are you from? I also wanted to ask any of you in Florida, how are you doing? Or hopefully evacuated, safe? Are we good? Are we okay? I'm thinking about all of you. That's one of the reasons I don't really go to Florida. Hurricanes scare the living daylights out of me. And why I don't live on the fault in California, because earthquakes scare the living daylights out of me. Arizona's pretty darn safe from that type of thing. But I've been thinking about all of you. You guys doing all right? I see lots of hearts. Hopefully that means you're okay. I'm thinking about you. Trying to watch it from a different state and everything that's happening. The news is kind of all over the place. You can't really get any good info. And I do have a lot of colleagues and connections in Florida, so they've been, speaking up and letting me know how they're doing. But I've been thinking about all you guys. So, all right, there's no more questions. So are you guys done? Should we call it a day? Should I go to Pilates now? Yeah. I will be live next week. I will be going live from a different location, but I will be here. So I hope you'll join me. And I'm going to pop up the survey again to my story here shortly. So fill it out if you want a coupon code to use. Team, let's send out a survey on masterclass topics and times. These were some great ones. I wrote them all down. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys all there. I really hope you take me up on it, because I'd really love to do that for you. That's fun for me. So I'd love to be able to do more educational sessions. So I think that'd be great. Fairly new to Florida here. Yes, it's crazy. Doing okay though. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you for always being here. Oh, thanks. Thank you guys for showing up. All right. I want you guys to remember what we talked about today. We talked about higher frequency. We talked about not getting stuck in the negative and in the anger and in the frustration and in what your neighbor's doing or what someone's doing on social media or whatever. Who cares? Just be present. Take yourself to your highest loving self. Do you know how you get to that highest frequency? You want to know what the number one key is? Love for you. Self-love for yourself, and just living through love. Okay? So try not to beat yourself up. Don't beat others up. What they do is none of your business. Live on your own highest frequency. Find things that bring you joy. Go dance. Go sing. Go do something fun this weekend. Go have a social event, whether there's alcohol in the cup or not, right? Go do something that brings you joy. That's what I want you all to do this weekend. And then I will see you next week, same time, different place for me, same time for you, same place for you. And I'll see you then. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.